My name's Amy Boxberger with Central Kansas Community Corrections. I was here a couple months ago, I guess, to present our comprehensive plan and our year goals for fiscal year 09. We have received our funding allocation from the state of Kansas, which was significantly less than what we had requested.
Really?
Yeah, big surprise, huh? And so I'm here to present our budget and the changes that we had to make to accommodate those reductions. Basically, the funding amount the amount we are funded for is $412,866.23, which is exactly what we got funded in FY08. But with the increases of, year-to-year increases, it seems like a cut. So the things that are changing from the plan basically include client pay, any services that we were allocating from our agency to help fund indigent clients on things such as mental health, substance abuse counseling, evaluations, those types of things. We're unable to fund those. Those were a pretty easy cut right off the top. The good thing is that when we were with our Senate Bill 14, which is the risk reduction grant that I was here last year for, we added a position. And thank goodness the stars were aligned in our favor at that time, because the person that we hired was doing an intensive supervision officer, but she's also a substance abuse counselor. And because we have that substance abuse program in our office, she's going to be able to make up the loss with providing services. So I think for this year we are definitely doing okay. So what I presented and what I've included given to you today was the amended comprehensive plan, and you'll see there's a strike through the things that we took out with our goals that affected expanding that Thinking for a Change program that we had. We wanted to expand that into our larger counties in the district. I think that just because how we are and how we run our program, if there was a need and the need could sustain itself, we would expand that. However, right now we're still going to remain in Barton County, where the majority of the numbers are. It's just not cost effective for us to set up a meeting in a group for 12 weeks for 3 people, let's say. So I think that we also had to change we wanted to do some by calendars, monthly calendars for each of the offenders to track their dosage of time and see what their scheduling is. Well, I think that we do still plan to work with those monthly calendars. We're just going to require that the offenders give them themselves, which they can go to the dollar store and pick one up relatively inexpensively. It came down to the end of my budget when I was looking at, there were all these little things that we were doing that was like, $500 here, $600 here, and then when I came down to the end of the budget, I needed $1,400, and I could not find it anywhere. So then all of a sudden, those little programs were significant, but there's still opportunities to apply for unexpended funds that we'll still do to try to enhance our program, and the risk reduction efforts and our case management philosophies are not going to change with the budget cuts. So I'm still hoping for the best as far as outcomes are concerned. So that's just basically where we're at. Last year we broke even with our client reimbursements as far as paying for our substance abuse counselor, her salary and benefits, and we even bought a car last year. So this year we are going to increase our monthly fees for our offenders by $5 a month, and we're just going to cut corners just a little bit like everyone else does when this time comes up. So I would ask for your approval on the amended comprehensive plan and the final budget, as well as the reimbursement plan for FY09. And I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have. It's kind of in a nutshell. The good news is I'm not asking for anything. Which always makes, you know, which always makes my coming a little bit easier.
I move we accept this comprehensive plan.
I second the
Motion
motion.
second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Y'all need to sign it then?
Yeah, just you.
Okay.
And there's 3 pieces. And would you like me to forward that to you when it's off
Just
signed?
sitting-
Yeah, if you would.
Do you get
I
one of
will.
these?
I'm sorry, I just learned about doing that.
Yeah, I'll just keep a copy of this.
Okay.
If you just send me that page, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. And then if you do not want yours, I've got one more county too. I'll take it back. Put one less thing in your pile.
You need this one?
JD wanted to save yours.
I can
Well, it's up to you.
another copy.
You want to save your?
I'll take it if you-
Okay, just make sure I get one.
I will
Okay.
forward the whole packet to you.
Okay.
How's that? And I'm gonna send it in without all of the strikes through, but sometimes it's nice to know where the
Why,
changes
yeah.
were, because I was just delete, delete. Can't do that.
Maybe you ought to put some of those offenders to work.
Well, I would like that. And I was thinking that on the way up here. What can we do? I passed that paintless dent repair, and we've got one car that's heavily dimpled by hail for a couple of years now. I thought, maybe someday we'll have somebody with some artistic ability to pop out those dents.
Yeah.
Those things that we just can't afford to
Yeah.
fix ourselves.
Little things.
Well, thanks, sorry to rush through.
3 copies, right?
That's it.
We got that one. All right,
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks for that.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'll be back probably in a month or 2 to get year-end outcomes, so.
All right,
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
Harold.
Okay, now first, give me a little update on the Radium Fire Station. We spent the whole weekend, and I have the sort of muscles to prove it, digging dirt and getting the site prepared, and the footings dug, and the forms are up. So hopefully next Saturday, we'll be putting concrete. And then sometime in early September, probably the building will start up. So
Is the person involved in supposed to erect it in here, or?
yeah, what he's doing is he's supervising our volunteer labor
Oh, okay.
for I don't know that it's free, but it's a greatly reduced price anyway. But anyway, we're using a lot of his equipment and our sweat, which there was a lot of over the weekend. But anyway, we got it.
At least it was cool.
It didn't feel cool. The humidity was so terrible. And my blue shirts weren't blue by the end of the day. There were large white streaks in them. Anyway,
Good.
we're sitting pretty good there. Then I've been doing some work on this, you know, trying to find out what we're needing to replace. And one of the things that we're not in too bad a shape on handheld radios, but our pagers are getting old, and some of them are no longer serviced, so we're going to have to replace
So
them.
TJ said, I think, about 5 of them you need or something.
Yeah, there's probably more than that, because see, we have a list. He mentioned to me that you'd asked several years ago. I made this list of all the
Everybody
pagers.
got one, so we.
Yeah, all the radios and pagers in the county, although they haven't been updated, to my knowledge, since I left the office. But there's a list there. And it was one where the make, model, serial number was recorded, and the person that took it signed it.
So they're not expensive, just to.
Yeah, just
keep
to
track.
throw around. Mhm. So there is a list, because I did that several years ago. So that's all taken care of. Then I've been doing quite a bit of work on the trucks. Jason knew about that, you know, beforehand, and of course he's not here now. So, but I've got another one out of Maxville right now that's going to need a lot of work. So it's going to be a lot more than $500.
Can you kind of give us an estimate for it at the time, or are you going to be able to know, so we kind of have an idea?
Well, I can just keep you updated as I go. What I've been doing is, rather than running one big long bill and billing it all at once, I've been kind of billing as I go, that way the checks aren't so big.
Well, I think right is just anything over $500,
Yeah.
we're supposed to have pre-approval.
Yeah, but, well, it's gonna be, because, well, the truck needs complete service from top to bottom. It's one of the old militaries. And then inadvertently, regular brake fluid like we use in everything else was put in it, and that takes a special brake fluid. And the guys didn't realize that, put in regular brake fluid. Well, then the whole brake system's gone. So I've got to take all the wheels off, and I got the parts from forestry. So, but it's going to be a lot of time pulling all those wheels and replacing all that, cleaning that system up, plus the service and everything. So it's going to get expensive. You know that. And then basically on the truck repair or the truck replacement deal, I think TJ brought in some bids. I'd got those a few weeks ago and submitted them to him. But anyway, we need, bottom line right now, we need radium and Maxville, now. Then the Hudson truck needs to be replaced as soon as we can replace the truck. The back part, the tank and the pump and stuff, is serviceable. Then, we need to get back into replacing all those big trucks, because we've got several other militaries, and they need to be replaced. And then looming on the horizon is the mini trucks, because they're, Mary got that program started, and I continued it when I was chief. And so our mini trucks are approaching 10 years of age now. So we're going to have to, look at that down the road a ways. And, yeah, we do have some good equipment, but it's getting to be old good equipment. So we're going to have to, that's going to have to be on the agenda all the time. And then one other thing I wanted to just mention was something I don't want to do, but I was told by a citizen about a week and a half ago that part of the reason that I wasn't allowed to return as, the head of the fire department was because I spent too much money. Well, for 6.5 years while I was the chief, I never exceeded my budget. And I want people to hear that, that I never did. I never even got close. I always had a budget carryover. And, I want that to be known, because,
I don't think it was just spent too much money. I think it just needs to be monitored, the money you spend.
I say I never spent too much money, and a lot of the things I was cautioned on were things that really weren't that big and important, But anyway, I want that to be out, in the public record, so people know that. And unless you've got something else, I'm going to go to the office and do some paperwork.
How rumors get started.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I want the rumor
Yeah, well,
be
sometimes they expand,
stopped.
what they said, sometimes expand in some ways.
Yeah.
It comes out, time it gets to the coffee shop 3 times a day.
Yeah, that thing can change a lot of times.
Oh, yeah, but, I just wanted that to be out.
Now, you did say the radium truck is in good shape except for the
Well, the
tank and
truck,
pump.
yeah, the truck is
okay.
serviceable. It's gonna have to be replaced down the road, but
Yeah.
for right now, especially with our budgetary concerns now, yeah, we can put a different pump and tank and stuff on it. And that's something else. I have a pump that needs repaired that we can use on this truck, because the bed and tank and stuff that we have found does not have a pump. And
Well, I think TJ said you have one that.
yeah, we've got one that needs to, well, I've actually got 2. One of them, the engine, I don't know what happened, because I haven't had time to tear into it yet, but it locked. And it had oil, so something just failed. It wasn't like they're running out of oil. But I want to look at that, and I may take that to town, because I just don't have time. I got 47,000 things sitting out there now. So
47,000, that's a buck.
well,
Where do
it
you put
looks
all?
like it. It looks like it. My yard is full. So anyhow, but yeah, we'll do what we can.
All right.
And
Okay.
go from there.
All right.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Doris?
Remember 9 o'clock is budget hearing.
Lost my cheaters.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Well, we're late.
What?
It's 9:45.
That's not either.
Not.
Good morning.
I got an executive session for 15 minutes for personnel.
It's gotta have to be 15 to,
15,
we got budget
exactly.
hearing at 9 o'clock, so
15.
we'll be all right, we got 15 minutes.
15,
All right.
might not even take
I
15.
make a motion, we go into executive session to elect non-elected personnel for 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Move to second, all in favor, say aye. We're in executive session.
But
And
I'll
then we're
do
gonna
don't you, Carl?
recess for the budget hearing, okay? We're back in
This is
session.
Carl Miller, our county president. This is
Hi,
Terry.
Carl. Nice seeing you.
Okay, we're gonna recess for a 9 o'clock budget hearing.
Motion.
I make a motion, we recess for a 9 o'clock tax hearing.
Second.
Move to second, all in favor, say aye. We're in recess.
And
Yep.
approved, adopted, and the budget as,
We're back in session.
as modified.
Okay, we're back in session right now.
Modified.
Okay.
I'll make the motion, we approve the adopted, amended tax budget for 2009.
I'll second
Moved and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I need a couple of minutes here to close out my program, and I'll email this budget to you, and if you want to print it out, then you can have the commissioners go ahead and sign it.
Carl, you had something you want to bring up, I think.
It's on the low production wells property exemption for taxation for oil and gas, oil leases. The Kansas statute number is 79-201T A and B, and it's where the average production of barrels, 5 barrels and less, is tax exempt. And I guess I'm requesting that all of us, county employees and so forth, that we get hold of our legislatures, our senators, and everybody to try to get this statute rewritten to where these low productions will be put back on the tax roll.
Well, you might explain the reason too, they passed it, I think, because it was a barrel at the time, and they could just encourage the stripper wells. Price of crude was down there at
That's
$8-10. For over $100 a barrel out there, but now the price of crude back, these, it probably should go back on, we all think it should go back on.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, well, I encourage everybody to contact their legislature and see if we can get this, help out. We figured how many dollars you
It
say?
would be right at 1.5 million taxable dollars.
Dollars coming into the county.
Tax dollars.
Coming into the county.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good chunk of change.
To Stafford County only.
Okay, well, we'll see if we can
When you get a copy of that bill, will you email it to me too, so I?
Of your, the bill you guys are working on?
Okay, sure.
The
Give
bill
us
that
a
you're
copy.
gonna propose?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sure.
get a copy so I can
As soon
send
as
it
they
to the
get it.
Treasurers Association.
yeah, I would want to.
Email it to our treasurers.
the same one that ours is.
I'll get you a
Maybe
copy.
That's what the commissioners have, they have the most, I'm gonna say the most power probably.
And maybe if all the associations get behind it, you know.
maybe some platform to
Mhm.
have their annual meeting. Be a good time to try to get something done then. Okay, anything else right for the moment?
He'll have the audit report.
Yeah, right,
He's-
but we'll just recess, I guess. You guys have anything right now? Recess? All right.
Okay. First, we start out with the independent auditor's report on page 1. And we're saying in this report that the financial statements are prepared on a basis of accounting that is prescribed by the state of Kansas. However, is not in acceptance with general acceptance accounting principles, and therefore these financial statements are not in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. We do go on to say, though, that we believe the financial statements present fairly in accordance with the type of accounting you're using, that your financial statements are fairly report. So we're giving you basically a clean opinion and that we did not find any problems that would lead us to think that there were any errors in the reporting on your financial statements. And your method of accounting is what 95% of the municipalities in the state of Kansas use. So not everybody has this little disclaimer in it. We'll go to page 3 then. This is a summary statement of cash receipts, expenditures, and income balances. And you see you begin the year with county funds of $4,251,000 of unencumbered cash. Had receipts and transfers of $6,594,000. Expenditures and transfers of $6,276,000. So we ended the year with an unencumbered cash balance of $4,569,000. So we have roughly a $300,000 increase in unencumbered cash balances. The following page, then page 4, is a summary of expenditures with just compared to budget for your budgeted funds. This statement is just so we look to see at one page, at one spot, whether or not you have a budget violation, which would mean that you would have spent more than you had budgeted to spend. You can see we do have one budget violation in the service for the elderly fund of $2,771. Which all that means is you gave them $202,771 more than what you budgeted to give them $55,000. Actually gave them $57,000. There are not any particular consequences to doing this. You're going to get a letter probably from the state saying that we noticed you did this and thought you would want to be aware of this information, and that's the extent of it.
So we don't go to jail?
You don't go to jail, no. We'll go through the general fund, and if there's any other specific funds you want to go through, we can look at those as well. The general fund, they're all set up basically the same way with the prior year actual amounts, the last year actual amounts, and then last year compared to budget. See that for the general fund, from 2005, you had total cash receipts of $2,357,000 versus $2,985,000 for 2007. Excuse me, 2006 was $2,300,000. 2007 was $2,009,000. Total expenditures $1,005,000 in 2006 and $2,004,000 in 2007. So substantial increase. However, a lot of that increase was due to the $300,000 that was transferred out to that you're putting back for your remodeling projects. And you go through all, in looking at the rest of your fund, I really don't see any areas that you have any problems in. I think you're doing a good job managing the money. You've got prudent reserves set back in most areas so that if you do have some emergencies, you're going to have some funds available to handle those.
I noticed here you talked about the sheriff.
Or the management letter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you talked to Jeff about that?
I have in the past, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do I need to do on that?
There's nothing you need to do. I mean, there's nothing you can do. That's up to Jeff to take care of.
Okay, so what?
Now, I
when
thought he had
should-
talked to you about transferring
had.
those funds.
He
Okay.
had, but he hasn't done anything yet.
Okay.
So,
He's aware of it. You
What?
just might remind him. He probably gets busy.
is there a
to
certain
get to
time
that.
period that it needs to be done by, or?
We like it, you know, as soon as we get it accomplished, without any specific time period.
Have you talked to EMS about going to QuickBooks? Okay, so they're,
Well, we talked to him about it. I don't know,
is it something we need to keep on about?
yes, I think you should keep on with that.
Okay.
And this is just, that they change over to QuickBooks?
Right,
And do they still need to give me their monthly reports on their checking accounts?
That will come off the QuickBooks.
Okay. I haven't been receiving all of those either,
Okay.
and I've been reminding them.
So nothing else, just much out of the ordinary then, just that.
No, there's 2 areas where we're gonna have to. Say, all of your funds are looking good.
Oh, did we decide that this emergency operations plan fund, we need to get rid of
What
that?
page you looking at?
On 21. I think you recommended that last year, and we never got that done.
That emergency operation, that could be transferred back,
To county general,
county general.
and get rid of that fund.
Yeah, the commissioner would have to do a resolution to transfer the money from the emergency operations. You really
We
don't
do that
know.
at the end of the year.
Do
We
that
do
at
the
end of
other
year,
resolutions.
Sure, right.
Okay. I don't remember if there's any other funds.
You remind me.
We pretty well have most of the other
sticky
inactive
note,
funds
like-
taken care of.
The rest of them are pretty cleaned up.
Yeah, well, you know, there's one on page 24, Strategic Action and Planning Fund. That could be transferred into the
Okay.
general fund.
What page?
Page 24, the Strategic Action and Planning.
Okay.
And we need a resolution on that one too?
Yes,
And
Okay.
it goes to county general?
it'll go to county general. You basically close, it'd be the resolutions to close the
Right.
funds. And,
The DARE fund, yeah, I think Jeff's gonna, they're working on.
They'll still do that,
yeah,
won't
Yeah,
they?
they're-
oh, yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
one you
not-
could not, that's what you
Yeah,
gotta do it.
the city, I think, is gonna get an officer to do that.
Are they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Last I knew, that was the plan. Are those the only two then? that we
I believe those are
need
the
to-
only two,
Okay.
uh-huh.
I don't know if I remember.
They're still gonna put it, they should approve it, so you can take it back out and then, so it should be all right. Okay,
Okay, questions?
that's your mind.
I don't know if that email's come through or not. To you, I emailed you new copies, I do, of the budget, so.
Have anything else then? We're pretty well wrapped up on
I think
this.
pretty good shape. Yeah, I think you did a good job with what you did on your budget, so get it where it is.
We got anything else in?
Just to approve the budget. She's getting the email, we do that today.
You would need to prove it at the end of the year.
Yeah.
We'll recess. Anybody else have anything this morning yet?
I'm pretty well worn out.
I do.
And I've got
Okay.
postal presort
She's
here
got
too.
stuff.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Terry.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Terry. Thanks, Terry.
No, just, okay.
He's waiting, so, you want me to go first or you want to go, Nia?
I've got to have executive session, so
Okay,
whatever you want to do.
I'll go grab him.
Do you want to talk about this mural thing? Carolyn Claypool contacted me about giving them $200 more to have the backdrop painted for the display at the state fair. I don't know who's gonna do it.
It's a local artist that moved into Stafford.
It's gonna be in color, it depicts all the town, well, you can see it there, but they would need $200 more from economic development to get this done.
The dollars are there.
Yeah,
And Maxville's.
we've already put in $1,200, $1,275 for the state fair booth.
And it's all in color, and it'd be the size of the backdrop.
I've already got the additional.
It needs to be updated.
Okay, I need a motion.
I make a motion, we go ahead and approve the new backdrop for the Stafford County Fair booth.
Move second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
This is, Mitch Price with Postal Presort. And he came down just to help me explain and answer some of your guys' questions that you had for me with using Postal Presort, their methods and accuracy and so on, so. Mitch, take it away.
Okay, well, I've got a sample. Basically, what we do, and we work with counties all over the state. Kingman's one of them. I live in Kingman County. We live west of Kingman out in the country, and we do, gosh, Lyon County, Reno County. I think we're working with 12 new treasurers this year, and not counting the ones we had last year, plus a bunch of appraisers. And basically what our goal is to save a bunch of time and money. And right now, Lisa, what takes you about a week or longer to?
Depends, 7 to 10 days.
7 to 10 days to fold, print everything, fold it, insert it, and that sort of thing. And we're able to accept the file electronically at our office, and it comes through an FTP, which is a file transfer protocol, and that is all secure that way. We do the same when we do like financial institutions and stuff like that. It all comes through there, so it's all encrypted, so it can't be stolen off like regular internet. And the file comes in electronically, then we unencrypt it in our IT department, and then we literally print the statements there, and then we fold them. Well, everything's done by machine, so we fold them, insert them, barcode them, and then we have a machine called a multi-line optical character reader, and it sorts down to the carrier level, so we're able to get a discount on postage as well. So for a 1 ounce letter right now, it's 42 cents, and then when we pre-sort it, gets down, the postage down to 39.4. So we're saving money right off the bat. And then we also furnish all the materials. If a county has envelopes and return envelopes that they want to get rid of, we can use those. But it's more cost effective to let us furnish everything that way. And we have a new envelope that we're using. We've been using this for several years, and this is another savings for the customer. This is called a Utah envelope. And it kind of looks like the state of Utah. It's real far away from foggy. But what we did is a lot of counties used to have to pay envelope companies or a printer to print their return address on their envelope. It's had their just going out to the taxpayer down here, then they have to print up here. But the way we format everything there, then we put it, did get you a little sample. This is a sample of a Stafford County. And there again, this is just the first pass. We have some customers, and then how you girls will talk amongst each other, like did this work or did that work and that sort of thing. And a lot of them had some verbiage here that they like second notice will not be mailed. So I bring that up to one, oh, we put that on ours. So we'd run them another sample, and until we get it right, you guys' approval and everything. And then see what we do, we put Stafford County up here, then the taxpayer down here. So when we fold this, it all folds in and shows through the window of this the big window of this envelope. And then down here at the bottom, this is an 8.5 by 14. And we provide the paper as well. And then this is perf down here, it's called a T-perf, so they've got a coupon to tear off and send back with their remittance, and we'll include a number 9 envelope of that as well. We usually don't send 2 envelopes because they wouldn't find it the next time, usually anyway. And then on the back here is the Homestead Act and everything that we print, and that's been approved by the PPD, and whoever will try, is that the PPD, they did the same thing with the treasurer? Okay, so that's an improved, okay, that's an improved backer, approved backer. And then as far as accuracy goes, and we've had a lot of compliments on the way we lay things out because they're easy to read. And PVD with this Orion, new software that I know the appraisers are using now, the guy up in Swain County basically held up a statement and said, this is what your system spit out, and this is what Postal Presort created. Even the PVD, well, that's a lot easier to read. They like that a lot better than what they actually provided. And just stop me anytime if y'all have questions. I'll tend to go kind of fast, I usually don't have much time. And then everything's barcoded. And then up here, these are called 2D barcodes, these 2 little squares here. And what those are identifying barcodes. So they, you were talking about accuracy. I like to tell stories. Brenda Becker, the treasurer from McPherson, at their conference, she was talking to another lady, and she goes, you all have trouble double stuffing with your girls talking or whatever, and stuffing somebody else's stuff in your envelope. She goes, oh yeah. And then Brenda said, we don't have that problem with Postal Presort because everything's machined, and we have an intelligent inserter. Actually, we've got 4 of them. So basically what happens, this is EVA, let's say EVA. So these 2 barcodes are keyed on EVA. And then, so let's say if she has 3 documents going into her envelope, and it's running through machines real quickly, and then a 4th page starts to go inside that envelope into Eva's envelope. They look about the same as the naked eye, but it'll have a different barcode to Mitch, so it shuts the machine down. We just don't feed it off to the side, it literally shuts the machine down, and then they start over. And then so Eva's got hers and hers, and I've got mine and mine. So we don't have the double stuffing problem. And as far as deadlines go, we have never missed a deadline. And what works out really well for us, if we need to bring in second shift, of course we will. But what works out real well, sometimes if you all would get your documents done faster than usual, you know, if you had them like, let's say 4 or 5 days beforehand, then you can go ahead and transmit those to us. We'll go ahead and print them, and then we'll set them aside. We'll shrink wrap, set them aside over here. Then on the day that they go out, then we'll run them down to MLOCR. And then we'll put like October 1st on them. That way, that we can get ahead of the game a little bit. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. Let me take a peek at that.
Not saying you say you're pretty well foolproof. You don't, but you do probably have occasionally once in a while you hit the wrong thing to the wrong persons that are.
I suppose it happens so rare that it's way up in the 99 point something range. It just with that equipment. Then we have a lot of fail stages that go through there. People that we call it the 1-piece rule to make sure that everything's in line before we start the operation. And our IT department, that's their job to make sure that everything's programmed right. And then like this, Lisa hadn't even seen this sample yet. But that's just the way that I do business, or we do business. Because that's pretty much my whole job is to focus on county government, appraisers, treasurers, and then also cities. So we've created this sample off a file that Lisa sent us. And then, so we'll go back and forth. If she wants some things changed or whatever, we'll make the changes, keep going back and forth with her until it's just right. And then before we go live, as we call it, with the real tax documents, then we'll print another one, then I'll get it back to Lisa, and then she can say, yeah, nothing's changed, everything looks the same. So then she signs off on that, then we've got her, or who's ever approval to move forward and print. But our equipment, that multi-line optical character reader, it'll run through, it's almost hard to see that thing if it goes so fast. It sprays on the barcode based on the zip code that it reads. And we'll run about 25,000 an hour down that machine. So it flips right along. And then we cast certify everything with the post office. If you run a national change of address, we can do that through the post office. If there's any, a lot of people don't do that. But if they want, we can do that too. There's just a form we fill out, and then we'll send that through the Postal Service, National Change of Address, their whole database, And then it'll say, like, if Mitch lives at 123 Main Street, and I filled out the little card, then I moved to 456 Main Street, and it'll show in this column the new addresses. That way, at least it can update her database that way.
That would really be nice to be able, that would sure cut down on a lot of return mail. That's one of our biggest jobs, is getting return mail, updating the address, and reprinting a tax statement and resending it out. It'd be nice to be able to run that through a database before, to cut some of that. That's just more efficiency, just being more efficient.
Right. It is I mean, we do so many counties, we literally go through hundreds and hundreds of thousands of documents. I mean, we do financial institutions, I've got propane companies, credit unions and banks, cities, county government, about any kind of an industry that you can think of that wants to do documents and do it more efficiently. That's the whole point of it. Rather than spending 7 days for y'all and your staff to fold all this stuff, and literally Lisa, she's the one who can key that into us, and one person sends it over, and then it's just taken care of, and it goes in the mail stream, you know, whatever day it needs to go out. And then something I do, I don't know if it's above and beyond, it's just the way I do business. I always send out once we run these down to MLCR, we've got an address and everything, then it stamps the round date stamp, like October 1, 2008 on it. Then I make a copy of that envelope and I'll fax it to you. So if the state comes in and says, did you really get yours mailed on October 1? There it is, proof positive. And then I can also get your postage statement right from the post office, you know, to make sure that you're covered on that.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Any questions?
You said you do McPherson County, Lyon County?
Geez, well, let me see here. Oh, this time I want to show you before. I don't know if Lisa, if I got you one of these. Did I send you one of those?
No.
Okay.
No.
This is pretty neat. I came up with this idea, believe it or not, last year. Because a lot of the treasurers say they'll, even though the mortgage company gets the paper, the taxpayer still writes a check. So if you've got, let's hypothetically, 1,000 documents that go to a mortgage company, so then those 1,000 people will send them this to their home. It's just an 8.5 by 11, and right there across it, this is not a bill original sent to mortgage company, and it also is down here at the bottom. And we fold that up and send it to the individual. Because a lot of folks, I don't know if you do it or not, but a lot of folks send those electronically to the mortgage companies. Do you all do that?
No.
Okay. And then that's another thing, if you've got, let's go with 1,000 documents to whatever mortgage company you use, then we'll call those out, and then we'll put those in, if there's 1,000 pages, then we'll put those in a proper size envelope or an Apple box, whatever it needs to go, and then we'll send that all over at one time to your mortgage company.
That's the way I do it.
Okay. Let me see, to answer your question here real quick. These are, and I don't like blue sky, you know, BS. This is actual customers from last year, and then that's gonna go on down. That's the ones we did last year. Then this year I'm working with, we're gonna test your own memory. Lyon County, she's got her approval from the commissioners. Brown County's got her approval. Marion County appraiser's got hers. We're working with Leavenworth, Atchison, Jefferson. Got information in Johnson County, Ottawa, Russell, Barton, Finney. About 12 we're working with just on the treasurer side.
On the treasurer side. So on your, is this per piece on your fees?
Right. Yeah, and then based on its, I forgot, at least what is it, 58, I think it's 58 cents for 1 ouncer. And the reason that, and it's a little bit more, it's probably about 3 cents higher than the appraiser, because the paper's longer, slows our machines down. We have to basically retool for this, and it's got this T-perf. But for less than 58.6, that includes the, let's say if it is a 1 page or 2 page, anything less than an ounce. Okay, so that we furnish the envelope, all the printing, we furnish the paper. we do all the sorting and everything for you, and we also furnish, that is included first class postage. So for not much more than you buy a stamp for, then we'll do everything and furnish all the materials. And then another thing that we do, I don't think I've got it, I don't know if I got my quote or not, but it's pretty important to a lot of treasurers. I don't know if I mentioned this to you or not, Lisa, that we can provide an archive CD. Did I tell you about that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So
yeah.
basically what that is, and Johnson County, they were talking to me, they called me the other day, and the company that they're using is out of Iowa. Number one, they don't like to go out of state, but that's who they use. But they couldn't provide an archive CD, and this guy was talking to me about it, and I said, we do that all the time. And basically what happens, if you've got, how many documents?
About 18,000.
Okay, 18,000, then we'll create a little CD for Lisa. And so if Mitch Price calls up and says, well, I don't understand my statement quite right, like that, and then she can just key right into there. She can just type in Price Mitch, pops up on her computer, and
You look at
then
the
she'll be
statement.
looking at the same statement on her computer that the taxpayer is looking at home. So there's, she can just look right down and see exactly what they're talking about line for line. It's an actual mirror of the paper statement. And we do that for a lot of counties.
And I don't have that capability now. I have to actually reprint a tax statement because I can't see it on the screen. You have to actually reprint it.
So that'd be good for you.
Yeah, it would.
Then I don't know, did you ever, did you show them this little?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Ooh, we got paid overtime today.
I'm sure we are.
I'm going from here.
Any more questions?
I'm gonna leave this with you, Lisa. You just have this whole package. This is your first sample of your, then, and I'll, when I get back to the office, we can talk about it.
Yeah, I do need to know because if we don't do this, I gotta get tax statements ordered. It's time to be ordering tax statements. So.
Any other questions?
I have none.
Okay. I'll bow out then.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're sure welcome. Thank you.
Well, you only got a 30-minute drive.
Yeah, the appraiser from, she used to be the appraiser in Russell, and then that's a pretty neat, I don't know if you know David Thornton, he's president of the Appraisers Association, and he was doing 2 different counties with us. Some of those guys will do 2 or 3 or 4 counties, and he was telling me about Barb in Russell. She bought all her paper and her forms and all, but she's run out of time. She just didn't think she'd make her deadline. So I called her and said, well, if you get the forms to us in Wichita, then David will help you get your file, whatever they do in the IT stuff, get it to us, and we'll just apply that variable date on your form so you don't waste any money. And she did, and we did, and met her deadline, and then she went right to Great Bend and said, this worked this well in Russell, so I'm gonna use it in Park. So that worked out pretty well. Okay, thank you,
thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Mitch. What do you think?
I guess I'm just kind of concerned about
I
our
know,
budget this year yet.
Or what?
Our budget, we're
I'm not for it at all.
Okay. It's a savings,
Well, I
so.
I don't know how you figure that, we're paying the bills anyhow, but.
What do you feel about it?
So, 60 cents times 18,000. We have that many?
We have, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, you figure personal property statements, real estate, oil, gas,
Quite a bunch of them.
intangibles, I mean, there's more than you think.
Well, I did it for $6,800 last year. And to have better accuracy and be able to do things more efficiently in the office, postal pre-sort can do it for $5,700. So that's a savings of $1,100. But, I'm not afraid of the work.
Don't understand that.
But we do have errors, and I get phone calls every year when people call and say, I got so-and-so's tax statement.
I was asking him about the accuracy.
Yeah. And I try to explain to the people, as long as we are stuffing them, there will always be errors, but, you know, some people don't like it when so-and-so's tax statement got in there because they seen it, and I can understand what they say. The main problem is, like I said last week, is when people don't open their tax statements till December 20th. If they open their tax statements as soon as they get them and then send them back to us so we can resend them back to the people, it's usually not a problem. But where it's a problem is
Wait till last minute.
people come in, they open their envelopes in front of us. Oh, well, I got so-and-so's tax bill, it's the 20th of December. So I just thought it might be something worth trying and try to help with efficiency. And the address thing, really, I mean, there's days that's all I do all day is change addresses, reprint tax statements, and mail them back out. So, you know, that time isn't even figured on
But
this.
that looked like you got a lot of appraisers, not too many counties on board yet. I mean, there's a limited amount of counties that's on board yet as far as using the program.
Well, like you said, there's a lot of people just now coming on.
That's why I maybe thought maybe another year even, then see how,
Yeah, that's what
see what the others feel like, how happy they are.
But that's $9,000, $10,000 to send. He said 58.6 cents per statement. And you're mailing out 18,000 statements, so that's $10,800, right? Even 50 cents, 18,000 would be
Okay,
$9,000.
this is showing 14,000. I bet that 18,000 is with those under the $10 limit tax statements.
So that makes a little different figures then too then.
Yeah. Yeah. 14,500. Because see, the ones that are under the $10 limit, we don't send statements, but it, on the system, it acts like it's a tax. It generates a statement on the
But that's
system.
figuring, that's figuring this too, it's just regular postage, that's not including the additional postage yet.
No, that's everything. That's what I say, they can do everything one day that it takes us to do 7 to 10 days with better accuracy. I don't have to worry about
Understand?
And if I make an error printing the tax statements and I get halfway through printing and I realize I made an error,
You're not supposed to make errors.
I have to start all over printing. And then if I don't have enough tax statements, I gotta order some real quick. Thank goodness that's never happened.
That's goes the best way to use, see how the others get along.
I don't know, that's just a thought, throw it out there and see.
That's my thought.
What's your thoughts, Lane?
I'm still confused.
Okay.
No, the only thing,
It looks like we have 14,500.
502, which would be 84.98.
But see, they like if you got 4 tax statements, they'll put them all in one envelope.
Yeah.
So we mailed out,
6,000.
yeah. And we had that many people that had additional pages to, not people, we had that many tax statements of these mail pieces that had more than one tax statement in it. And so that was their, with the postage and their services, they figured $4,800.
Okay. You know, I really, I think we'll let some other people
I do,
do it first.
I do.
All right.
And the reason I'm saying this, you know, we got, I think on his list, he had mainly appraisers.
And maybe a lot of bigger counties too and stuff, that's.
And just to be cautious, then the other thing I was thinking about, we bought the new postage machine, or we're renting it, or doing something with it. And you're gonna have extra help. Did we hire a floater?
Oh, yeah.
So we have extra
I
help.
usually always have extra help anyway during tax
So
season.
now, I think we should be diligent. I mean, it was obvious what we did on the budget, so.
Well, this isn't gonna cost anymore, you
Yeah.
understand?
I know,
Okay.
but my thoughts are,
Let's just hold
is the
on.
public will
So
say.
that's fine, but I just wanna make it
Yeah.
clear, it's not gonna cost you anymore.
No, I know, I
Okay.
realize
Okay.
that, but on the other hand, the public will say, well, you know, you did all this and this, and now you're sending it, you know, you're outsourcing. You know, why? Well, save money, well, but I don't think they perceive it as that.
No. Efficiency, I think, is the main thing.
Right, I understand.
I'd feel a lot more comfortable if we'd hold off.
That's-
Just a year and see what it looks like.
Like I said, I'm not afraid of work, I think
Yeah,
I'm
I've
saying,
proven
but I'd
that.
like to
But,
see what others go on board too.
Just see, you know, on that thing was Ferguson County, which is considerably, you know, larger than
You
ours.
get Leavenworth and all those
But
up there.
I'd love to see if he gets Johnson County and see how that goes. And if Johnson County goes, then I'll vote yes.
If Johnson County goes, you'll vote yes.
Well, I'm just saying, I think that's the acid test. If he gets Johnson County to.
That's
you
a
know,
lot.
That's-
The accuracy of it.
And then look at his error rate. You see what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
Or
fine,
even,
I'm not
yeah,
afraid of the
yeah.
work. The address thing would
Actually,
really be.
Reno County. Did he say he's working with Reno County?
And so some of these y'all, he just started working with this year, he said.
With Reno County. Okay, I'll retract that and say if Reno County doesn't have any problem.
Fine.
Yeah, that's,
Can you get the NCOA list from the post office?
You know, our new program, they're trying to implement that, but, you know, that'll probably be,
but how many pieces does it take to get the better rate then?
I don't know, we used to do that a long time ago, and it wasn't worth our time to sort it all, because it took us so long to sort it, we weren't saving any money, so we waited and went back to just normal rate, because we just don't have enough pieces at certain zip codes.
Okay.
All right, okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
You have something else, Nita?
Yes, I need executive session for about 10 minutes, for non-elected.
I'll make the motion, we go into an executive session for 10 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel.
Second,
Move to second, we're in executive session. Motion to adjourn.
I so moved.
We are adjourned.